Looks like he's finally found it. Lady Morag. A meaning to his life. Indeed. Frankly, I'm a little jealous.
What?
After all, most people go their whole lives without finding theirs. I wonder if I'll find mine.
You've got one already, haven't you?
Yeah.
And if what you've got isn't enough for you, well, you can always leave things to the next generation.
You've got a point. Surprisingly enough.
So are we considering Numa to be the next generation? Because that's quite far from it. So what did you do? I have an idea. Oh, the whole thing's breaking down.
Huh? What's going on?
That's... What's happened? At this rate, all of Elysium will collapse. What? Since the conduit disappeared, the power holding Elysium together was cut off. What's gonna happen when it crumbles?
I mean, you just created... Well...
Everything above this point will either orbit the planet or be flung into space by centrifugal force.
Yeah?
However, everything below this point, the World Tree itself, will fall apart on top of all rest. No, that can't. The impact would destroy.
There has to be a way to stop it. Pyra, please! Pyra!
There is one way. Just one way to prevent it.
Transfer it somewhere
5
else?
stories down, from here, there's a control room for the correction boosters. If we can fire the booster jets and accelerate the whole World Tree beyond escape velocity.
Look, I haven't got a clue about boosters or velocities, but
She's basically saying you're all gonna...
that we gotta get there, and fast.
She's basically saying you're all gonna
Okay.
sacrifice yourself.
5 floors down. Let's hurry.
Azurda! Poppy!
What did you say?
Poppy could not possibly. Please. You're the only ones I can ask. But... Poppy. You promised. Didn't you?
That had purpose.
Low belt. Please.
But what is she asking her to do? It's not like she's gonna go out of control, is she?
You're a real piece of work.
I'll admit, I have no... Well... So we're gonna get to the boosters, they're gonna fire, and in theory, they should be able to escape orbit. Well, the World Tree part of it, at least. But it seems like Numa has a different plan.
What is this?
Looks like...
Ships. Is this a...
Oh, they got ships! Okay, well, not hopeless. Oh, she sent them there. Knowing that it was ships.
Pyra? What are you doing there? Where's the control room? Pyra!
Well, darn.
I'm sorry.
That is not what I expected. Wow.
This was the first lie I ever told you.
Really? Oh, nah.
Pyra!
The only way to stop the World Tree's collapse is to use the last of Ion's power.
What? Those weren't
And
lies?
annihilate the World Tree. I'm sorry. It is the only way. You all need to use one of those escape vessels and get as far away as possible.
What? The last of Ion's... Pyra! What are you doing? It'll be fine, right? You'll deal with the World Tree, then come back, right? Wait! Just wait, I'll come with you! Damn it! There's not enough wire! I got it! Poppy? Poppy?
It's not okay. Poppy cannot.
What do you mean you can't?
She promised her.
Made promise. Pyra say that Rex for sure ask Poppy. Say not help Rex, no matter what.
What kind of promise is that? Please, I'm begging you. All you gotta do is take me over there. The rest of you can just... Rex. Come on. Please. She's right there. Rex. Gramps.
Sometimes a man must know when to let go.
I don't know if this is one of those times.
Why? Why?
If he wants to be with her.
Do it for her, Rex. Do as she asks.
Gramps.
Chum, how long are you planning on being a baby? She's the girl you love. You got to accept her decision. That's what being an adult means.
I don't see a reason why he couldn't go with her. Being together is always better than being alone.
Rex, I am so thankful that I've met all of you.
Morg, is that your version of a salute?
Rex.
Yeah, if there's no way to get to her, at least make sure that she knows you appreciate what she's doing.
Pyra.
Rex!
She sent the rest to him. I almost wonder if she can't come back from that, if her data's there. Oh! No, she healed him.
The core crystal.
You'll be fine. Without me now.
Pyra. Pyra!
Y'all gotta go, man. Otherwise, her sacrifice will be for nothing. I was thinking it was too convenient to have thrusters on that thing. That far down. But she did do something to Gramps. And she is... I assume she can store her data somehow. So until I see otherwise, I won't assume that she's gone.
Hello there. I hope you'll help me. Rex, I'm so glad to have met you. Our time together was short, a fraction of my long, long years. But it's been warmer and brighter than any time I can remember before. You shone a light on my melancholy path. You showed me the way. Thank you for that, Rex. Thank you for that gift of light.
Oh, that's irony. I just thought about that. A gift of light.
So tell me, how was it being alive?
Do you really want to know? Well...
Okay. Oh, okay. I was thinking that was another thing that she did. That was good thinking.
You know, I think this form does suit me best.
Gramps!
We're heading down. Everybody grab onto something.
I mean, you're the only thing they can.
Cloud Sea is...
The Titans are... gone.
I can't believe it.
Was that his last gift?
Everyone dead. We were too late. At the land of Mortha.
So there's nothing left of the world but ruins?
We're crossing that rift.
Is that real water?
Look!
And is that a landmass?
The Titans.
They're joining with the land. It's true. I think I see what Klaus meant by restoring the world.
And please explain it more, Ag.
Gramps?
Are all the Titans that
Elysium
died?
was here all along.
You know, Rex, I think you're right.
Is it all the Titans that joined? Did they make up Elysium? Or all the Titans that died, I should say. Because they fell under the Cloud Sea, but now that the Cloud Sea is gone, you can see the Titans underneath, and it's a giant landmass.
We're finally here.
We're gonna get to see, like, why the clouds? Like, come on now. Why does it seem like this is credits? This is credits! What? Okay. So, to recap, the architect removed the Cloud Sea, which the Land of Mortha wasn't fixed, as far as I'm concerned, or as far as I know. It's just... why couldn't he do that, like, a long time ago? At least that's why I was irritated with the architect. I was like, you didn't seem to put much thought into it. If you could have made a landmass like that, unless it required life to grow and evolve that much until it reached that point, I don't know, the limits of his powers and what he could do were quite unknown, especially if he can make something like the Cloud Sea that expands through the entire world. All they really need is just, you know, a solid place to live, you know, a landmass that they can cultivate and take care of. The Titans, like a lot of people, died because of that system. And then there's him letting him out this get, you know what? Well, anyways. So Elysium was on Earth. Heaven on Earth, I guess, is how they would pronounce it. And I'm assuming that's how it was done. The Titans died. They joined the landmass to make up a much larger landmass to create a world where everybody could live on, which is Elysium. Not quite how I thought Elysium would come about, but still... along the boundaries, I guess, I thought Elysium would be the result of Pyra dying, and she would birth Elysium on Earth. I should have specified that. And it actually came to pass. As far as Pyra's sacrifice, let me say that is the type of... I wish we got stuff... Well, let me think. That was real. That was nothing but pure emotion, you know? I felt that. I was engrossed into that. I could just feel like that was two people who cared about each other, you know? And now it makes a lot more sense of why... Well, not that I didn't have that theory already. Like I said, I felt she was going to die since I met her. And I felt that I initially felt that her expression of sadness was because she was going to sacrifice herself and leave Rex behind. So it was always, that didn't exactly not factor out of what I was thinking would happen. But to speak more on that moment, I didn't feel like it was something that was like, I think I said maybe it would have been last episode. Yeah, maybe, who knows, or maybe the episode before last. I might have split up into 2 parts. I said that many of the moments felt artificial, and that did not. That was exactly the type of emotional stuff I was looking for. And the reason I wanted a flashback is so I can get her pain. Like, if we're speaking realistically, a lot of this, like, Malice would not have been able to get the power to attack those people if she had used her full power from the beginning. And there's a quote from Peter Parker from Civil War. He says, "When you can do the things that I do, but you don't, and then the bad things happen, they happen because of you." In this case, I kind of feel like this is an example of where, like, another quote from the old Spider-Man movies, "With great power comes great responsibility." What I wanted to know is feel a tragedy, the scope of a tragedy that was worthy of Pyra feeling the way she feels. Instead, in the world, we got many times where it seems like people loved the Aegis and wanted her around. So it just, the ending was the type of emotion that I wish I'd felt during the entire game. I wish I liked Pyra Mythra, because if I felt the way I felt about them during the beginning of the game when they were my favorite character, I'd probably be crying right now. I've said, I think, many times that my favorite characters are not, like, she literally has all the check marks that my favorite characters have. They're powerful, they sacrifice themselves. So I guess, if anything, my frustration came from the fact that she could have easily been my favorite. Just with one little change, in my opinion. Or maybe if the DLC was added. Anywho, let's see if there's more. Will she lose her memories? Because she's like a normal blade? And she shouldn't have her power anymore, right? Oh, both of them? Is it just the vision, or is it really them? Yeah, it's really them. But real talk, did they not know that they were going to come back? Did they not know that? Like, they're a blade, the master blade. It's what they do. And thus, boy meet girl. Okay. So, and I guess now, well, we'll see if there's, like, if that truly is, like, I feel like a game like this normally has, like, some, yeah. So, what now? Huh. If I click on continue, does it start me right where I was before I started the final battle? Yep. I guess this is a suitable place. So, I should... Final thoughts on the game as... First off, I do need to talk about the very big thing during that moment, though. It ain't like it was all sunshine and rainbows. She said that was the first lie she ever told him. So, you're telling me that Pyra genuinely, you're actually telling me she genuinely thought that once she got to Elysium, she wanted to go to Elysium and defeat Malos there? What? But I cannot expressed. That honest, like, her lying was the best case scenario. Her lying about how Malos could get to Elysium, then once he got there, he could heal. Like, my final thoughts is that, yeah, the game, it certainly had its issues. And I'm confident now that I've seen the whole thing, they could have written her a lot better to where, well, I'm not trying to rant right now. I'm not in a ranty mood. But I genuinely feel like everything I've said, I was pretty much spot on. The ending did cause some feels in me. But now I'm thinking about it, she's alive now. So, like, realistically speaking, like, Rex even asked her, you gotta come back, right? And she just smiled. Like, I was thinking, like, yeah, pretty sure she can come back if she knows that she can heal Rex and all that stuff. Maybe it was slightly, I don't know. Point of the matter is, if I could give my just final, like, what I'm feeling right now about the game, is that I can say what I would have said before. It easily could have been one of my favorites. It easily could have. I see why people recommended it to me, and I know why people love it. Oh, absolutely. I see why people love this game, right? It has a lot to love about it. It has a lot to appreciate about. But for me, and, well, one, I'm doing a playthrough, so my feelings about the game differ because it is a playthrough. I use the example all the time of if I'm fresh, like, you know, you guys seen those videos where gamers rage over stuff, but yet they keep uploading that game where they're raging. It's like, if you guys, the audience, is enjoying them rage, then it's fun and you keep uploading it. But because I know that based on how I felt about the game, others did not enjoy the episodes, that I mean, it's understandable why, but at the same time, it does put a damper on things for not only you guys, but also me as well. I would love to play a game, maybe because many people said that Xenoblade 1 was made a lot better. I can't say if for sure if I'd play Xenoblade 1, and as far as the DLC goes, honestly, I think it would hurt me too much. Now that we've gotten to this point, let me just speak to you all about what I know about the DLC. So if you don't want to know and you're gonna watch somebody else, then you can go ahead and well, maybe I'll put a skip time or something. So here's one thing that I thought would have made Pyra Mythra better. It was them memory loss. The characters in question who I compare it to, ironically, oh, Shadow doesn't really count because he didn't have multiple personalities, but it is funny how he had memory loss. But my favorite female is anime-based character of all time, Uzume Tanoboshi. She also had a version of multiple personalities. But when I met her, she had lost her memories on the very tragedy that we're talking about. So I got to see her before the accident, in a sense, even though it was after. And then once she recovered her memory, well, it's the situation after that is a little bit different, but that I realize now that if I had felt that she was hiding, you know, that's another thing. They also say lie by omission. Like, clearly Pyra didn't tell him everything. Anyways, that's not the point. The point is that, well, yeah, that is the point. That's what I'm trying to get to. If I felt that Uzume was hiding what she had done, it would have left a very bad taste in my mouth. And it quite honestly would have made her the least favorite of my characters. It's like a tragedy like this, you know, with someone experiencing such a huge trauma, the whole point of that trauma is to explain why they're doing such, well, not such detestable actions, but, you know, actions that you wouldn't consider optimal for the situation or things like that. And when we're talking about the fate of the world, it's even more important. So one thing I looked up is that people with multiple personalities often lose their memories of the tragedy in question. So if that had happened, then when Morai confronted Pyra and Mithra, it literally could have been a case of Pyra did not know what Morag was talking about, and Rex seeing that reaction could have supported Pyra. And then they found out later what she did, see Pyra's reaction to that, and then they could go from there. I feel like that would have been the organic way that I was talking about. That was before I even knew, like, I looked that up after I felt like something wasn't right. And then I found that out. I'm mentioning that because I know the DLC mentions that. Apparently that happens during the actual moment. And when people are saying the flashback is everything that I need to know, well, no. Knowing that is a big part of anybody with well, not anybody. There is a correlation between loss of memories and people with multiple personalities. That would have drastically added to the situation. Not a scene that has left up a lot to the imagination. And that's just one example. Another example is how to write a sympathetic character. I've looked up some tips on how to do that. And one of the big things is to not make the characters look foolish or dumb. And in this case, if what Numa said at the end was true about that was the first lie she told to Rex, and everything else was true, and she just had a really, really, really horrible plan. When she was stronger than Malos, she risked bringing him to Elysium and all the devastation we just saw happening, which in Elysium wasn't even there to begin with in the first place. I guess you could say they changed the architect's heart, and that was the purpose of going there with their relationship, the one I thought was, you know, contrived. So, okay, maybe that was reason enough. But that was one of the things that the guide I read said not to do. You make the decision seem dumb, it's hard to sympathize with the character. And that's what happened. And I could go on. But I really don't feel like I really do feel like that is the last part I wanted to speak on, the DLC, because, well, they don't have the DLC that can actually help that fact, but the DLC talks about, it shows me Mithra before, like the whole cooking thing. Apparently it's, there is one very important fact. I was also told by somebody in the comments, and because they were trying to defend Pyra and Mithra, they told me apparently her power went out of control at one point. What? I was giving her the benefit of the doubt of thinking it was like a Superman case where he was trying his best to defend the city, and another person, if you guys ever saw Man of Steel, another person, his power level came about and was causing destruction, and Superman could only do so much. That's what I was giving them the benefit of the doubt with. But if their power actually went out of control, and that's what they were upset about, I think you can see how that might... Oh, look, they ran away. It's like they know. I don't feel like I need to speak about how that would have fueled my anger even more, especially since that was after that episode where I was saying she was selfish, and then somebody brought that up. I'm like, what? And that's exactly why I wanted to know. Okay, you destroyed 3 continents. How exactly? Because even Jen goes back and says, he says that she sunk Torna, but then he says the one who really destroyed Torna, it wasn't the Aegis later on. So it's like, okay, well, what is she actually responsible for? Where did her trauma come from? And as we can see now, it literally is. I felt like the story was more a love story and not unless a save the world story. And that's fine if you do the romance properly. Have you guys seen a bunch of romance stuff? My sister has made me read some really, really good romance stuff that I never would have read before, and I have now. Good example is Fault in Our Stars, if you're curious. Man, that book made me cry up, tear up. It is from a female's perspective, but still, I found it to be very enjoyable and enlightening. And that's not the only one. She showed me many more, but that's also kind of where my experience comes from. So, all in all, it's kind of like an afterthoughts kind of thing. But moving the Aegis aside, every other character besides her, I enjoyed. And Rex, you all actually made me, if I didn't specify that, you all actually made me understand that Rex was just a child. So when your reasoning worked for me with Rex, I was like, okay, all right, I see your point. He is 15. So, but then when I took that approach, and it's like, okay, but now the game's not treating him like he's 15 years old, or like he's new at his job, or that the Aegis is a lot more experienced. Which, by the way, well, no, I won't mention that. There's no need to. But not only the characters, this environment. Like, I love the environment, especially Elysium, so to speak. The space station. This game, I can see, this is definitely why so many people have so many, like with that ending, I can see why people said it was beautiful. Definitely. And after an ending like that, I can see how people would even be upset with me for talking about the game in the way that I did. And I'm honestly glad that I made the part I did. I edited that episode before I made this one, because I might not have had the same fire in me as before. And I felt that needed to be said, because that was basically the thoughts I was trying to before I ended the game. So overall, I don't feel like I can give a fair rating on Xenoblade Chronicles 2, honestly. My experience is different. It was altered by the comments. And I wonder if I had played Xenoblade when it first came out, if things would have been different, because without the DLC, which literally has exactly what I want in it, that I felt should have been a part of the story, incorporated some way, shape, or... Like, just think about that. Since the DLC has what I wanted, I would have been... It's... Like, if you could have added something that would make more people like the game.
It's a new day, everyone.
Shoot.
Look alive.
Well, maybe. Yeah, sure. It's like a positive, bright spin. If you could have added something that would have made a lot of people enjoy the game more, why not add it, you know? Because apparently, I don't see anybody saying they hated the DLC. So I don't see why it would have been detrimental to add it. Either way, with that said, I think I'm done. I think I am done. Honestly, this game I spent many months just up at night, just thinking about what did I go wrong, or is there something I'm not doing right? Like, why aren't... So I'm glad to have it come to a close now. Will I play the others? Honestly, I'm not sure. There are some circumstance. I feel like I just don't want to play the DLC, because if I do end up liking it, then I'll feel even worse about how the main game felt. Because, well, not worse, but it's like I could have enjoyed it. I wish I had maybe played it before the game started, or I don't know. But, and there's also the fact of time-based. If I had to put you guys want to answer that I can leave you with, I'm most likely thinking no at the moment. Mainly because I now know who the architect was as far as Xenoblade Chronicles 1 goes. And that was kind of part of the reason why I wanted to see it. And well, I'm just as of right now, I like there are things like people told me they really want to see me play Breath of the Wild. That's a game that I feel, well, for now on, if there's a game I don't enjoy, you know, I can always quit because this was a game I promised to finish. All the other games from now on, if I have an issue with them, then I'll just stop them. So before I get, like, I felt this was gonna happen in episode 9, but you know, wanted to still fulfill my promise. So to those of you who, they're probably not even here at this moment. To those of you who wanted me to play the game, if you're there and were you satisfied? Like, would you have wanted me to stop, basically? That's my question to you all. And to everyone else, if you're blind like me, how did you enjoy the game? Or, you know, how'd you feel about it? And with that said, I am done. This shouldn't take long to edit. I imagine I'm not cutting any of this out because I don't need to. I don't need to. So, with that said, this has been Blade. And also, Bridget practicing theory. I should have let me off on that. Truly, like, them alone, they bring out the points for this game. All right, yes, I am biased. All right, I love Blue. Since I saw Bridget, I knew I was gonna like her. So, anyways, please post your thoughts down in the comments below, and hopefully, I will see you all in the next playthrough.